Good evening, all the attendees. Welcome to our session today. And it's a great day for us because we have an all women's panel and we are all going to be discussing about such an important topic of the pandemic, which has really led the universities to shut down and syllabi being stranded. But on the brighter side of things, we have noticed that this has also steered the change in such a manner that it is leading us towards a better, technological innovation and advancement. So I would just take another 30 to 40 seconds for all of our attendees to join in so that we are all settled, and then we'll begin with, with the formal session. Just allow us 30 to 40 seconds.
I can see the participants growing in number. We have reached around 80 now, which is a substantial participation.
Yeah, that's right, Dr. Paul. And it's actually heartening to see such a large number of registrations coming in, and they was not stopping. And that really shows the kind of enthusiasm people have to hear from our women leaders.
Yeah, 600 is a good number to register, and based on our experience, it is going to be beyond 100 for sure. 100 to 150 is the number that I expect today for the audience to join us.
Yeah, that's right. So just a couple of seconds. Zoom is just connecting with the Facebook to go live. Okay, so I think we are good. So welcome once again, everyone, and people who are still joining in, welcome again. So I will just quickly, hand over the formal session for Dr. Kaul to begin, and let's all dive in. Dr. Kaul, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Piki. Thank you so much for bringing me in on this webinar. I welcome everyone in today's webinar that is on COVID-19's impact on higher education and research. We are here talking about disruption, aftermath, and solutions to it. Thanks for joining us, the two special guests with us today. That is Dr. Sophie Dubour. She is rector of Laval University and chair of Board of Universities Canada. From the India side, we have Dr. Pankaj Mittal. She is General Secretary of Association of Indian Universities. So very warm welcome to all of you, and also the audience who have joined us in a very overwhelming number. So very warm welcome all of you on today's webinar. As you know, most of you would be aware, I assume that you would be aware of Shastri Institute, what it is and what it does. Just briefly to touch upon its activities, we are a binational organization that was founded in 1968, and it is working towards promoting academic relations and mutual understanding between India and Canada. And we are doing it through funding research and linking academic and research institutions in these two countries, that is India and Canada. Institute is very privileged of being the only binational institution with membership of 150 institutions in India and Canada. And you name a good institution in India or in Canada, it is on board of Shastri. So we are very proud on our membership, on members and its activities and their engagement with Shastri Institute. Our scope has expanded over the period of time, and as you might be aware that initially we were only dealing with humanities and social sciences and cultural studies, but now it includes law, management, arts, information sciences, environment, science and technology, including biotechnology, along with the humanities and social sciences. So all the disciplines and areas of domain of knowledge from STEM and humanities and social sciences are included in its broad mandate of Shastri. So the programming of the institute is done accordingly so that we can engage with all the domain of knowledge. Shastri Institute have been, instrumental in building understanding, respect, and goodwill between India and Canada for over 50 years now. And how we have done is by providing thousands of fellowships and research partnerships, faculty and student mobility programs. And when we look back and when we interact with many these recipients, they report that these were life-changing experiences for them that Shastri has provided. The institute has placed, earlier thousands of books and journals and periodicals in libraries in Canada and India through our book program, by which the knowledge creation could happen over the period of time, and people could understand what Canada and what India is all about. We have funded thousands of research, world-class research collaborations between these two countries. And I can only say that Shastri's hallmark is the application of binational approaches to its to higher education and research at the highest level of quality and achievements. And it's a matter of pride that when Prime Minister Trudeau visited India in February 2018, he, in a joint statement, he recognized the 50th anniversary of the Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute in promoting understanding between India and Canada through academic activities and exchanges, with support of both the governments to the Institute. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank both the governments that have understood the value of the Institute and have been continuing to support it for good 50 years and beyond. And we look forward to next 50 years to deliver what we could not deliver, or to increase the extent and extend its programming beyond what we have done till date. We have just completed in 2018, we have completed our Golden Jubilee year, and for which, we have been exclusively funded by Government of India through Ministry of HRD, and we have wonderful events in India and in Canada in that series, and it's continuing. Unfortunately, due to this pandemic, there is a disruption, but we are sure that we will come back again. Coming back to today's webinar, which is based on the issues that has challenged the world, I would say challenged the whole world, and everyone is trying their best possible to come up with the situation that this pandemic has created for mankind. As the title says, that we are talking here about COVID-19's impact on higher education and research, and the kind of disruption that we have experienced, and what are going to be the aftermaths and the solutions that we have in mind. So this particular webinar is the second in the series of Canada Ed Celebration. And, we have seen that how on this arena of higher education and research, the professionals and working lives and researchers have been affected, in both the countries and worldwide for sure. And we all are, with its arrival, its widespread break, and over 200 countries across the world, the pandemic effect has been severe. And it is estimated that it has impacted almost 2 billion learners due to the closure of educational institutions in total. And everyone has shifted to different kind of pedagogy that is hybrid, and that has thrown kind of challenges to us. And we aren't sure which direction we are heading for, whether we are heading to the right direction or not. And unfortunately, this is not based on any research that we have experienced earlier. So we have to explore the ways to deal with the pandemic situation and bring out solution to deal with it. There are many questions that are going to come our way during this webinar, and we look forward to engage with our speakers on those particular issues during this webinar time. With this, I think I would come down to our scholars today who are with us, and two dynamic women leaders from India and Canada. And I would like to once again extend a warm welcome to both of you, Dr. Dubour and Dr. Mittal. I'm pleased that you are joining us tonight for this webinar. And, it is going to be quite a knowledge for us to hear you virtually. So I would like to invite now Dr. Sophie Dubour, Chair, Universities Canada Board of Directors, and Rector, University of Laval. Briefly, I will introduce her. Dr. Dubour has been a professor in the mechanical engineering department of University of Laval since 1995. She has extensive research in higher education, research and university management, both in Quebec and on the international scene. She holds a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, a master's degree in business administration, and a PhD in engineering mathematics. She has been the Canada Research Chair, which is quite prestigious position in planning sustainable forest value network since 2009. Her research focus is business engineering, value chain management, and decision-making processes. She was University of Laval's Vice Rector of Research and Innovation from 2012 to 2015. And thereon, she has, she has been responsible for various platforms and various forums like Quebec Center for Industrial Research, Quebec Infrastructural Corporations, likewise. So it's so many credentials to her site. It's not easy to say in such short time that I can do justification to her CV, but I can also say that she has been associated with a number of countries. Her engagements are with countries like that includes Norway, Sweden, France, Chile, Argentina, and United States. Quite a number of, more than 130 scientific publications to her credit, and many contributions to event in Canada and abroad. And she's viewed as an accomplished researcher and widely recognized for her work on forestry planning model. A very warm welcome, Dr. Dubour. We are pleased to have you here, and I would like to invite you now to talk about this particular topic that we have shared, that we have placed in for today's webinar, and thereon we will invite our other speaker to join us. Dr. Dubour, it's all yours now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Cole. This is a pleasure to be with you and a privilege. And I thank you for the invitation and the opportunity for me to have this discussion, very important discussion, with the distinguished colleagues who are on the line today, which I salute. It is for me the opportunity maybe to recap in the first moment what we've been going through since last March within all the universities in Canada. Then I'll provide you a bit of update on the advocacy plan of Universities Canada and the government support and some policy issues that we are looking at, and conclude by saying a few words on our preparation for the fall semester and what's coming up, and how we see our student coming back partly on our campuses across the country. So as you all know, in March, different time period in different provinces, our campuses were shut down in some way. We shifted in a extremely rapid operation from in-class to online education. So 1.4 million students in Canada within all our university were taken from the in-class to online education. It has been a fantastic journey, challenging, intense, and we've seen so much creativity and commitment from the faculties all across Canada to make this operation a success and make sure that our students would go and be able to get graduation and complete their program. We were challenged in many ways, as many classes where you need to access labs were not accessible, and we had to reinvent ourselves in so many ways. We would challenge also with the research, as many of our research facilities had to be closed for a period. In Quebec, we kept an open door, so everything that were related to COVID-19 continued, and the work was done, and some, I would say, strategic laboratories were provided the opportunity to the continuity of their operation because of the importance and of this continuity. Then came the residents and our international students. And I can tell you, all across Canada, there was one line of direction, was security, safety for our people, our employee, and our student, obviously. So we all had to deal with bringing the number of students and dorms and residents to a lower number to make sure that people would be safe. So all across the country, what you've seen is university working with their community to help relocate some students so that they be in a safer environment. You've seen also a lot of community work internationally and domestically to help students reinstall either back home if that was an opportunity or staying in the country. We were challenged with the borders closing up at different time, making it difficult for either faculty being abroad, our own student being abroad and coming back. A lot of work was done there. We rapidly realized that international students were fragilized in many different ways. And most of the Canadian university built up urgency fund to provide the support to students. And the government also came up with some significant support. The research community was fantastic because even though in such a constrained environment, they managed to organize nationally, and I would say internationally, in this unprecedented effort to find a solution, like the discoveries were so much in need so that we globally can face COVID-19 in a way of understanding the virus, its effect, not just as medical effect, but the social effect of it, and being sure that we would be there. So this has been the journey that we all had to go through. And we very work closely with our partners across the world and within Canada to have a plan where we could go through the different phases of this situation. So we organized with Universities Canada the advocacy plan in a three-pronged approach. So the first part was support people, support our people, making sure they're safe, they're secured, and they have the need, they can, we can provide what they need to go through the peak of this crisis. So there was a lot of work done with government, good success. I'll come back to that. Second stage is to stabilize our university. We cannot run all year round in this crisis mode, so stabilize our operation, reopen gradually our installation, bring back our people, and prepare. So this is what is happening at this time. All across Canada, universities are reopening, reinstalling their research activities. Staff are coming back, not totally, to a great, probably something like 25, 30% of the staff will re-enter. And the third stage of the advocacy plan is really to make sure that university can be upfront helping Canadian and our partners to accelerate the social and economic recovery that we need. So a lot of effort in defining what is the next step, where do we want to go, where are the greatest needs, how can we with university accelerate this. So more partnership, we're envisioning more partnership with industry, more partnership with our communities, more integration in our learning process with these different sectors. Success so far, $9 billion for students through the Canada Emergency Student Benefit. That was a major contribution. that will have provide the capacity for a student to continue their education project. You know, they will be able to continue, and they lost their job for the summer. It has been tough, but they have received the funds to be able to go through that. $1.1 billion to support COVID medical research. That was never seen before. And what I was very, very proud of is the fact that our faculties were very, very rapid in doing the turnaround for that and linking with our international partners, making sure that we do this research all together. We were supported recently with the announcement of another $450 million to support Canadian researchers who have been challenged by the COVID. So meaning that the lab were closed, that the partnership have, the industry might have slowed down their investment. And the thing is, we need to keep the talent. We need to make sure that there is not a drift and that the researchers are not drifting around away of the research enterprise. We all know that this is a very significant time for countries, for all of us, and we need the research activity to be able to continue and to keep our talent to work to the benefit of the research and the knowledge. And there has been, I must say, one of the big element of the advocacy has been on immigration challenges. As we are a university ecosystem that welcomes international students. So typically half a million students are coming from abroad every year to Canada. From India is close to 150,000, if my numbers are right. It represents something like 15 to 17% of our students' enrollment. So it's very significant. It's part of what we are as university. And now we're challenged by the fact that the borders are closed. The immigration offices around the world have been slowed down. So we've been working intensively with our immigration department, with our also in provinces like Quebec, where you need the coordination in terms of immigration with the Quebec offices and the federal offices. But this has been, we might good win on that perspective because student can enroll at distance starting now. So that will be it's a good benefit to make sure that they can continue their education for those that were already enrolled, and for those who are coming also that they can start. So this being said, now we're preparing for the fall, and preparing for the fall is challenging because now we're not planning a month of education to complete a semester, but we're planning a full semester. In a very different matter, we are going hybrid, co-modal. So most of us are working so that we can provide our program to students who are at home and have family who are challenged by that, or are working and want to continue their education. We have students abroad who will not come back and will continue online. And we have our domestic students who want to come back on campuses and will be on campuses. So we are all working within this very complex environment. And I would say most of the strategy are around hybrid education proposition and around co-modality. So for those who have infrastructure, for those who have been leading the online education, those universities are more prepared, better prepared, and they're capable of providing high value technopedagogy because they are there. Some universities are less prepared, And that's where the partnership comes in. You know, you will see more interaction between universities so that they can help each other in addressing the challenge on campus. I'll conclude and sign that when you're going to come on campuses and you go on campuses in Canada, there are new rules. And you come in and you see new boards, you see welcoming desk, you need to register, you need posting, you need distancing, you have mask, different provinces, different new rules. And this is the way we will conduct all of this. So I'll stop here. I wanted just to, you know, outline a number of issues, but I will be very pleased to answer a more specific question for you.
Well, thank you so much. And of course, there are many questions emerging from this drastic turn of, you know, events such as navigating our respective ways that are applicable and that can be adopted by a particular community of scholars or particular university in a particular country. Right now and after post-pandemic, you know, how the academic world would look, how it would have impacted by then the scholarly work or the how we would have managed the technology front. And there are many more questions that comes to my mind and to anybody's mind. But thank you so much, Dr. Dubour, for you know, chalking down the three prime aspects on which, you know, Government of Canada through all universities of Canada have worked upon and sketched down the ways to deal with it, the current situation wherein we are. Also, I really appreciate the kind of, you know, funding that has gone into it in terms of navigating the challenges that are experienced by all of us is wonderful and remarkable. I must appreciate the government's initiative, Government of Canada's initiative in this regard, how they have dealt with the international students, not just their own domestic students, but especially with the international students abroad, is something is of great appreciation. And we have been following up with our scholars as well who have been there in Canada. And I'm very pleased to share with all of you that they have been really appreciating the way their affiliates, the university has responded to their requirements and needs. And they decided to stay back. There are still 4 scholars who are in Canada and they feel safe there, which is kind of, I would say, a success for Shastri Institute to establish them there. And this speaks for the kind of support that Canada has provided to its international students. Just to reflect back on the numbers, I think by September 2019, we had already 220,000 Indian students, you know, there in Canada studying. And also I would like to highlight that this is 5-fold increase in last 6 years. So it's it speaks for volumes for the kind of country Canada is and the kind of reception these Indian students have been given there. So I congratulate you and your colleagues and the whole government for managing these situations very well, particularly for international fraternity of researchers and academicians. So congratulations on that front. And with that, now it's time for us to invite our second speaker, that is Dr. Pankaj Mittal. Dr. Pankaj Mittal, warm welcome once again. And she is Secretary General for the Association of Indian Universities, popularly known as AIU. And she's the second woman Secretary General of the association in in its 95 years of existence. So we are very proud to have you here, Dr. Mittal. Prior to joining AIU, she has been serving the higher education sector, especially university education, for over 3 decades at an apex regulator of higher education, the University Grant Commission, UGC, that is the nodal body managing university and affairs in India. We were also expecting Dr. D.P. Singh, the chairman of UGC, to join us today. Unfortunately, he has to meet with, you know, the minister around the same time, so he could not join us, and he has sent us greetings on behalf of Government of India. Dr. Mittal earlier served as the first regular Vice Chancellor of Bhagat Phool Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Kanpur, and this was the first rural women university in North India in 2008 at a young age of 44 years. To undertake an honors task of developing a tiny Gurukul in an institution of repute. Dr. Mittal introduced a series of innovative practices and reforms as the Vice Chancellor of the only rural residential multi-faculty women's state university of the country, imparting education to 7,000 girls from KG to PhD level in a holistic manner. Very pleased to understand this credential of yours, and this brings a lot of cheer to all women across the world, I think. Thank you, Dr. Mittal, for doing such wonderful work. During her stint as Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mittal transformed the Gurukul into a university, which is now on the international map with collaborations with universities like University of Baltimore, USA, St. Catherine University, USA, Nottingham Trent University, UK, and University of Cambridge, ESOL, UK, and is frequented by many international experts, teachers, and students. Her contributions in institutional building, coupled with blending of folk in a unique manner. The social impact of the Kanya Gurukul and DPS Women University on the surroundings is evident from the sex ratio figure of Census 2011 of Kanpur village, which stands at 1378 females per 1,000 males in the state like Haryana, which is known for adverse sex ratio, which is 879 for Haryana and 970 for India. Congratulations, Dr. Mittal, once again. This was remarkable. And I know exposition to, education and literacy is very important, but the kind of, interaction happens in such institutions is something that builds up the information, that builds up the knowledge amongst the young mind, and that leads to further such kind of changes in the demography as well. So thank you for your contribution on this domain. She is right now, as I said, is General Secretary of Association of Indian Universities. I have experienced over the period of time the kind of overhauling has taken place at AIU. AIU has become very active and very, I would say, kind of a moderator amongst the universities to bring in the challenges and encounter them with full force. So the kind of activities that I've seen, I mean, even in these pandemic time, I have been seeing that a lot of webinars and virtual activities have been happening. So that is a kind of, administrative part of Dr. Mittal, but she's a Fulbright fellow, and she went on Fulbright fellowship as an educational administrator. She was awarded with President of India Award in 2017 for digital initiatives in higher education. She has been awarded honorary doctorate degree as well. First Padma Shri Subhashini Devi Award in 2018 for contributions in societal development and community engagement from the Chief Minister of Haryana. So all these are, highlights of her profile. There are many that I can read through, but I think it is time for all of us to listen to what she has to share from her side. Dr. Mittal, it is your turn now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prachi, for a very, very generous introduction, rather pretty long. Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting me here. It is an honor and privilege to be on such a platform and talking to so many people who have registered on this webinar. Thank you, Prachi. Thanks to Shastri Indo-Canadian Institution as well. As Prachi was telling, Association of Indian Universities is an association which is having 809 universities under its fold. And I understand this is the oldest and the biggest association of universities in the world, because no other association has these many members. And as far as activities of AIU go, it is academics, research, sports, youth affairs, as well as equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees. So that power has been vested upon us by the government of India. Now, when this COVID stuck and all of the sudden the universities, colleges, schools, everything was closed. And in a country like India, the online education had not taken the sort of a lead so far, because we were mostly believing in face-to-face education, and the teachers were not even knowing how to do online education, and very few universities were doing online education. But I really appreciate our faculty members that when this pandemic struck, overnight, all the universities started teaching online. When I say all means, I cannot say like we have around 1,000 universities and 40,000 colleges in India. All will not mean everything, because we do have rural universities, we have backward area universities, we have remote area universities. So infrastructure is a very big issue. So wherever infrastructure was there, they could switch over. But many places, I don't know the condition in Canada, we had a problem of infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, infrastructure in terms of even electricity 24 hours, then devices for the students, the networking and the bandwidth. All four were not available in many institutions. So that was the biggest issue. And now the government of India is thinking that instead of giving a lot of funding to the universities for making buildings, they should give sort of a part of that fund for the improvement of technology. So if the technology improves, then the online education will be better in future. And the second issue which we faced was because the teachers were not used to teaching online and the students were not used to learning online, many of our teachers didn't know how to teach online. Because online teaching is not that you just sit in front of laptop and start giving a lecture. That is not online teaching. So for effective online teaching, we needed to have a lot of capacity building. We have something like 15 lakh, that means 1.5 million teachers in our country. And all of them need a lot of capacity building to train them to teach online. So as an association, we took a lead in this, and then we started many 3-4 programs. We held workshops for the teachers to teach online. And right now, in collaboration with Quaspir UK, that is a company based in UK, we have prepared a self-paced online course, which is available on AIU website. This is a free course, self-paced course. So anybody who wants to learn online teaching, they can undergo that course at any point of time. So that is what we wanted to do for the universities. Second thing which arose was the resource, open education resource, because open education resource is there in plenty. In India, we have a platform called Swayam, which is a India MOOCs platform, in which MOOCs courses are given. And I think you will be many, I mean, MOOCs are being run in most of the countries, but I think India is the only country where credit transfer based on the MOOCs courses is given in the regular programs. So earlier UGC decided that if somebody is doing a say master's program in a regular mode, and if there are some subjects where the teachers are not very good, or where if there are some electives where the students are not able to take those electives because those were not offered in their own university. So for those electives, they can come to the Swayam platform, that is a MOOCs platform. And there, if they do those courses and earn the credits, those credits can be transferred in the regular program. Earlier, it was up to 20%, but post-COVID, it has been increased to 40%. So now 40% of the credits can be done on Swayam program under MOOCs. Apart from that, we have a lot of open education resource which was made prior to this. I remember when I was in UGC and we were doing this open education resource, there was a program called EPG Pathshala. In that program, we were making a lot of open curriculum based open education resource for the students. And when the teachers used to come to us for making the resource, they were so camera shy that they were finding it very difficult to stand in front of the camera and teach a camera. So they were saying we were very happy to teach a class of students, but teaching a camera is very difficult for us. So we had to arrange special sessions for them to make online courses by teaching a camera. So that was the issue which were earlier faced, but slowly the teachers are gaining the experience of teaching online. So that issue is slowly fading away. The so open education resources, what we have told our teachers is that now the next session will open after 2 months. We are not very sure whether we'll be opening in a physical mode or in an online mode, because we jokingly say that we are no one to decide. It is for Corona to decide that when will we open. So whatever way we open, we are telling our teachers that identify the open education resources which are best suited for your own programs, identify them, earmark them, and share it with your students so that the students know what to read. And then sort of in a flipped classroom model. The online or a physical type of classes can be done. So this is what we are doing right now. Now, when we come to the topic of today, collaborations, many times it is being felt that because of this corona pandemic, collaborations will decrease. But then again, I fail to understand why we need to travel for collaborations. Collaborations can be done online also. Like today, we have got an expert from Canada. Just, I mean, you are spending only say 1 hour on this program, and our teachers are getting so much and our students are getting so much. Similarly, now onwards, if you want to have your foreign teachers for your university students, it is very easy, it is cost effective, it is time effective, it is resource effective. So collaborations will increase post COVID because the money which we were spending so far, I mean, everybody is talking about the new normal, that in the new normal, the things will be different. So in the new normal, I think that even post COVID, there won't be so much of travel on the name of collaboration. The travel will be reduced and the collaborations will be increasing, because now we understand it is not very difficult to collaborate online. It is not very difficult to hold meetings like this online. It is not difficult to hold conferences, webinars, seminars online. So slowly, a new normal is creeping in inside Indian universities, and they are understanding that collaborations can be done online. Rather, they can be more effective collaborations online. So I seriously feel that in future, even corona or no corona, the blended mode, both in education as well as research, will be followed so that the collaborations can increase. Similarly, one new concept which UGC is working on is NAC Bank. NAC Bank means National Academic Credit Bank. So what we are doing in this National Academic Credit Bank, and this is now getting more momentum after this COVID, that like we attend regular programs, in the NAC Bank we'll be attending courses or accumulating credits. Like we accumulate money in the bank, in the NAC Bank we'll be accumulating credits. So once we have sufficient number of credits for award of a particular degree, then we can go to a particular university and say, I have these many credits, so give me a degree. And if the university feels, yes, it can be given, they will give you a degree. And those many credits will be debited out of your account. And every credit will also have a shelf life, like 6 years, 5 years, depending upon the subject, because the science subjects, engineering technology subjects, those subjects will be having a lesser shelf life, but the subjects which are, say, history and all, they'll be having a longer shelf life. So this concept is gaining momentum, and if this comes up, then the online education, academics, research will be on a different plane altogether, because then the students don't have to enroll for a particular program. They can learn the subjects of their choice at the speed of their choice. I mean, in addition to freedom of speech, there will be freedom of speed also. So they'll have a freedom of speed, that how fast they want to do a course. Right now, it is not there, because in India at present, if you enroll for a graduate program, after 3 years, you will get a degree. If you drop in, say, after 1 year or 2 years, you don't get anything. It's not that you will get a diploma or something. You don't get anything. But here, for every credit you earn, you have a certificate with you. And when you accumulate so many credits, you can get a degree. So NAC Bank is something which we are looking forward to. And I think, Prachi, should I continue, or maybe we can have more in the discussions? That will be better.
Yeah, I think that's extremely helpful in terms of understanding how Government of India has approached COVID-19 situation and how they have dealt with in terms of bringing in opportunities for the students to bringing them opportunity for them to do online courses, and not, in terms of losing out in terms of the closure and the disruption that this COVID-19 has created for all of us. So
we are trying to use it as an opportunity rather than
absolutely. So those who want to do probably can do more than what they were doing in the regular time, in the regular profile of theirs. And I agree with you that this has given us, this time has given us an opportunity to understand that many things are possible virtually as well. Like Shastri Institute in its COVID-19 research policy also introduced the concept of virtual and hybrid research. This year, we are encouraging scholars to virtually collaborate and do at most that is possible, that can be done without, unless it is a work that can be done in terms of being in labs or so, it is totally different, but most of it can be happen, and at least initial work that can be done in terms of getting together and getting to understand what is our expertise at both the ends is something that you can do to begin with. Thank you, Dr. Pankaj, for highlighting these aspects in your talk to our audience. I think it's time that the floor is open for the questions. We have a couple of questions coming in. I just want to, say that like Shastri, many organizations are also feeling challenged, which are offering, binational programming, because the funds from India side and funds from Canada side are pouring in, but then the funds that were to be disbursed in this year are stuck, and we are still trying to understand how the disbursement, how the mobility is going to happen, because as you rightly said, Dr. Pankaj, that we aren't sure how and when things are going to reopen and resume normalcy, or what is going to be the new normal. So at this point of time, we are not sure when the normalcy that we expect to reoccur will happen, and if it will at all re-happen in recent times, like in 6 to 8 months time. And given that situation, the scholars or the collaboration that were already going on are, kind of stuck at some point of time. And that needs special attention from both the governments. We have a couple of questions coming in from the floor, as well as some scholars, and we have a professor from Laval University who have shared the questions, and he is checking on whether Government of India follow the example of Government of Canada and extend deadline for funded project by 1 year. So I can just assure you that we are actually in conversation with Government of India in this regard, which is Ministry of HRD. And I'm sure they will understand the emergency, they understand. So the conversation is on, but for Dr. Pankaj Mittal, I would suggest that if you can carry this sentiment from this platform to Government of India on our behalf, that scholars are keen on collaboration, but they would want to have extended timeline to complete their research that they have already undertaken before COVID arrived. So that is one thing. There's a sentiment here that says that we must sensitize all universities in both the countries to remain more accommodative in terms of dealing with visa processes for foreign invitees. And also the universities to provide as much clear information to its members as to what to expect in next 6 months, so rest of us can plan our workflow. It is very important for universities to provide this basic information to its own faculty and also to the international collaborators, how they are going to foresee this happening. So if clear guidelines are available for the researchers, then they can plan accordingly. They can, plan the year accordingly in terms of understanding whether they can invite a collaborator from India or not. Like our conversation happening with MyTax, and they have been in touch with most of the universities in Canada for global research award, which is for doctoral and postdoctoral students. And MyTax is of the opinion that all universities are opening up, receiving international students and researchers for this program. So we have launched the program. We are not sure after 4 months how things are going to turn up, but we are remaining positive on this front that things are going to be fine, and the scholars will undertake the mobility part of their research by then. So do you have any reflection upon, Dr. Dubour or Dr. Mittal, do you want to reflect upon these points here?
Yeah, I can take this idea of setting very clear guidance for the next 6 months. This is a common challenge that we all face, and the fact is that if we plan and we decide to die definitively, we will put in place stricter, harder constraint because we need to plan in the light of a scenario that could be worse. And I think that most of the Canadian university are planning with flexibility and some kind of resilience. As we know, it might be hard for students to arrive in Canada and professors and researchers, postdoc, to arrive in the month of August, but it could be possible to arrive in September, maybe October. And what we want is not to cite today that we will not welcome anyone until next January. And so this is why sometime for our community, we're challenged. We say, okay, what will happen? And we need to take the information as it is today and do the best of it today. There is a lot of work being done to make sure that the offices and the visa be processed faster. So all of our offices are getting back on track. But on the other end, we are still challenged with the Quarantine Act. And scholars and researchers, postdoc who are coming to Canada needs to quarantine for 14 days. Doesn't mean that they cannot start their work or study within their quarantine, but we need to plan with them their capacity to quarantine. So there are these type of rules. They might change. We might see in September a new set of rules, as some countries are requiring a COVID test within 24, 48 hours of arrival, and therefore a shorter time. So we need to plan with resilience and agility so that we can really take the best of it. Because if we want to set up too many decisions up front, they will be done in a constrained way. So that's the challenge we face in the university. But for sure, what you will see is that postdocs are coming back to the country, and I think that, I don't know how it is in India, to which extent people can travel back to India and reinstall. But in Canada, we are seeing more and more. The paper needs to be updated. The justification needs to be done towards an essential needs for coming back. And that will change as the semester will arrive. Just being a student or a postdoc or a university researchers will probably be an entry point, you know, a motive for coming back. But we're still in this transition in that perspective. And,
Thank you,
yeah, I'll stop here. Yeah.
Dr. Mittal, would you like to add anything here, or I can go to the next question?
What I feel is that the collaboration and all which were existing pre-COVID, I normally say that the world is divided into two parts, BC and AC, before Corona, after Corona. So BC, whatever collaborations we had planned, obviously that will be affected AC, means after Corona, because we were not prepared for it. But slowly, when the things are sorted out, and maybe in some places the mode has to be changed from physical to online for some time. And when the Corona is over, maybe we can switch over to physical. But as far as planning is concerned, I think people should not look towards the government for all the plannings. Universities have complete academic autonomy. Let the universities plan on their own, like what type of activities they want to do, whether they want to keep it online, whether they want to keep it physical, what type of collaborations they want to do, how they want to do the teaching, what OERs they have to use, how the capacity building of teachers has to be done, how the internships and placements will be there, how collaborations will be there. That has to be decided by the universities on their own. So therefore the university leaderships have to take a call on this, that what will be their plan for the 6 months. I mean, they cannot be looking towards the government to give them the plans. It is for the university leaderships to take the plan in consultation with their faculty, students, so that they know, because everybody knows what is happening. and every university is in a unique position. Everywhere the situation is different, every state the situation is different, every university the situation is different, the profile of the students is different. So university leaders have to take a call on this, that what they will be doing in future to take care of their own students, how will they protect the interest of their own students amid COVID crisis. So it's all depends upon the university leaders.
Yeah, thank you. Very well said, Dr. Mittal, that it has to be decided by respective university, keeping in mind the geographical location of the university and the situation that they are in at that particular time, and how they can envision kind of a plan for next 6 months. Centralized approach probably is not going to work here in that matter. I know it's time. There are good 26 questions with us lying here. I fear if our speakers can devote more time on this. If the speakers are fine with the idea of sharing these questions with them separately by email, their offices probably can look into that and respond back. If that is fine with you, both of you, the speakers, honorable speakers
Sure.
here?
Sure.
Wonderful.
So we'll send the reply to your organization.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think there are many questions we will not be able to sort them all in this 60-minute session. And there's, as I said, that there need to be a individualistic approach. Individual university have to take up a action plan on their own. Leaders' role is very, very important here. And I think somebody is has said in the inbox, I can see that how intense is the focus on India-Canada collaboration right now in the areas of scholarly exchange and collaborative research program. I can just say that it's amazing if you look into any platform, whether it's MyTax, whether it is Shastri, Indo-Canadian Institute, or it's IC Impact, or respective organizations that they have. We have not less than 20 wonderful grants made under Spark program that is funded by Government of India. It's a huge funding, and 20 grants have gone to Canada already. Similarly, not less than, I think, 100 Gyan Awards have been given to Canadian faculties, more than 100. I think I'm not having the current number in mind, but these are the avenues by which the collaboration have been strengthened over the period of time. And I see that two great democracies coming together. There's no issues around, and education and research is the face of the collaboration, I would say, precisely. And the leaders of the two countries have been engaging constantly in the time of COVID-19 as well. The prime ministers have been in touch constantly, and also the High Commission at respective countries have been collaborating on how to proceed further. What are the best possible opportunities to build up and strengthen the relation between India and Canada? So I remain very positive on this front, and with the noble, speakers that they have shared their ideas with us today, I think we are good to go for the next 6 months in terms of planning and seeing the research and collaboration happening virtually for initial 4 months time, and later on, as the situation improves, we will go on further in terms of physically meeting and seeing each other and conducting research together. Thank you so very much for both of you for sparing time. I really appreciate, and we will be in touch with you soon. Dr. Mittal, you have said that you have an online training program kind of workshop with the UK university. I would like to explore the same in collaboration with Canadian University, and maybe I can start with our speaker, Dr. Sophie Dubour, to ask for her opinion. I will be writing to you separately on this. If she can suggest us somebody, a resource person who can do this kind of training for our teachers here. And if there's something that Canada can learn from Indian side, is also something that we would like to see happening. So with those notes, I think it is time to wind up. Thank you, everyone. After this 1 hour and 10 minutes time, I can still see 114 participants here on board. So many thanks for your wonderful questions and your engagements tonight. We are going to circulate questions to the speakers, and as soon as we receive responses, we will be happy to respond back to you. Thank you once again, and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you.